So I want to shift to one of the greatest Philadelphia Eagles of all time, Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb, obviously, like I said, I want to discuss if he's a Hall of Famer or not. I want to get your thoughts on this. I'm just going to go over kind of what I think about Donovan McNabb because, honestly, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, but I'm going to give the reasons as to why he may not be or why he may be, and then I'll let you take it from there. So let me just start off by saying what I think you need to get into the Hall of Fame. In order to get into the Hall of Fame, you need to do one of four things. Dominate, like put up MVP numbers, throw for mad touchdowns, like Dan Marino. Didn't win a Super Bowl, but he dominated, okay? So, you got to put him in the Hall of Fame. Play for a bunch of years. I think that most quarterbacks that get into the Hall of Fame need to at least put together a decade and a half, about 10 to 12 years of at least consistency. So that's one. That's another thing. Winning Super Bowls. I think that that's very important. You need to be able to win the big games for me, okay? And if you're not going to do that, you at least need to dominate. Or just be a combination of all of those things. And also, can you tell the NFL story without that player? And Donovan McNabb, 30th all-time in touchdown passes, 25th all-time in yards. I'm not a big stats guy, but I just want to rattle off some stats for the viewers in case they don't really know. 59% completion percentage, 234 touchdown passes, 117 interceptions. He's won 60% of his games, roughly. He's got 98 wins, 62 losses, and 1 tie. Now, keep in mind, Donovan McNabb had Andy Reid as his head coach for most of his career in Philadelphia. Andy Reid's a pretty good offensive mind. So, while they may have not always had the wide receiver talent at times, outside of Terrell Owens and a couple other players, Donovan McNabb's not putting up monster numbers, and that's what Andy Reid is his head coach. So I just want to put that out there, all right? And Donovan McNabb is 9-7 in the playoffs, which is not bad, but it's not great. And he's 1-5 in NFC title games, and he got to that one Super Bowl. I know the Patriots were cheating. There's a little bit of an asterisk toward the Patriots. In my eyes, I still recognize Belichick is great. I still recognize Brady is great, but at times there's a little suspect stuff right there. But either way, when I look at all these things, I think Donovan McNabb falls just a little bit short of the Hall of Fame. I'm not going to be mad if he gets in the Hall of Fame. I might even make a video about it and talk about his career, but as of right now, when I'm on the fence about a player, and again, I didn't grow up watching Donovan McNabb as much as I watched Aaron Rodgers, as much as I watched Drew Brees or Matt Ryan, et cetera, et cetera. I mentioned Matt Ryan because I think that he's a borderline Hall of Famer too. If it's not obvious to me when I take into account all these things, I can't put you in. And I think that Donovan McNabb falls a little bit short simply because I never saw him truly dominate the sport, and he did not win enough for me to put him in there. And he's got the longevity argument. I think that he played long enough to qualify, but that's my thoughts. I think that Donovan McNabb falls just short of Hall of Fame voting. If I was voting, and again, I won't be mad if he gets in, what are your thoughts?
It wouldn't surprise me if he gets in ultimately, but if he does, he's going to have to wait a very, very long time. And this is coming from a guy, I didn't grow up, believe it or not, an Eagles fan. I became an Eagles fan. I grew up actually in Georgia, and I was a really, really big Atlanta Falcons fan for the longest time. Michael Vick obviously goes to prison. He comes out. He becomes a Philadelphia Eagle. That's when I became an Eagles fan. So I really didn't get to witness, the intricacies and the nuances of Donovan McNabb's career. But from what I can gauge, you basically said it all, man. He was pretty darn good as a quarterback, but he never ascended to the pinnacle of success in terms of the Super Bowl, in terms of the MVP. He was never, amongst the best of the best. But, just from a longevity standpoint, and from the amount that he won, he really just comes up on that conversation, and his, statistically speaking, he surpasses guys like Kurt Warner, guys like Troy Aikman, guys like Terry Bradshaw, guys like Steve Young. But all of those guys won. And as much as I hate to say it, Donovan McNabb, whether you want to chalk that up to circumstance and, they never got him the wide receiving talent that you'd like to have. He really only had one good wide receiver throughout his entire career, T.O., and that was the year that they actually went to the doggone Super Bowl. But, at the end of the day, I can only hold you as a football player to what I saw from you on the field, whether it was a product of circumstances or not. The results were what the results were. So for that reason, it's very hard. I want to say he's a Hall of Famer. I do think that there's a decent chance that he makes it in someday, but he might have to be one of those dudes that has to wait a very, very long time, and it might have to be somewhat of a dry class for him to get in, just because he didn't, like you said, he didn't meet any of the really tangible Hall of Fame criteria that you really want to see from an NFL quarterback.
No doubt, 100%. And we're going to wrap things up, man. I appreciate you for coming on. This was great talking to you.
Pleasure, man.
Yeah, no doubt. You're doing great things. Be sure to subscribe to my guy Reagan Griffin Jr.'s podcast, The Reagan Griffin Jr. Show. Be sure to check him out on Hoop and Holler podcast. Just type in Hoop and Holler to podcasting platforms. You'll find them via Square One Media. He does a lot of good things. Man, I appreciate you for coming on. This was fun.
This was a lot of fun, man. You're going to have to come on my jump one of these days.
Oh, no doubt. I'd be down to do that anytime, man. No doubt. Just hit me up.
For sure.
Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.